The manga chapter 32 of More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers start with Akari is just hanging out in the hallway, gripping her paper, while her friends are buzzing all around her. I mean, summer break is officially over in a flash, right? And bam, they're already staring down their July midterm scores. You can totally feel that crazy, slightly chaotic back-to-school energy radiating off the whole group. But man, the vibe shifts real quick. Her friends start playfully pinching her cheeks, totally teasing her about having tons of romantic developments with Minami over the break. Instead of getting hype, though, Akari just looks incredibly guilty. Even when her friends are like, hey, we loved helping out, she just drops her eyes and quietly apologizes to them. Right after that, Natsumi comes in hot with a huge pitch, a massive 6-person group hangout. It's basically an oversized double date with Natsumi and Reo, Sachi and her boyfriend, and of course, Akari and Jirou. And where's Jirou during all this? He is literally just standing there super awkwardly by the door, completely out of his element, just silently waiting for Akari to wrap things up. Then, Kamo decides to mess with him. He casually drops this total lie that Shiori is leaving school with some other guy, and it instantly triggers this visible 0 to 60 panic in Jirou. Once Kamo finally admits he's just messing around, he hits Jirou with some pretty harsh truth. He warns him that, as just a childhood friend, Shiori could easily get scooped up by someone else if Jirou doesn't step up soon. Kamo actually gets super serious for a second. He looks right at Jirou and asks, "Are you going to keep running away in the real world too?" Just like how he always gives up and says it can't be helped whenever they're playing co-op video games. Jirou's response is just so timid. He looks away and mumbles about wishing his starting gear in life included a cute girl. He's literally treating reality like it's a game set on the highest difficulty. And the emotional weight really hits hard right about now. We see Shiori standing quietly, just totally lost in her own thoughts. You can practically feel the pain radiating off her as she realizes that liking someone who is so close to you is incredibly tough. She's got this somber, heavy expression, and it's clear she's carrying this massive regret that she didn't just confess her feelings to Jirou way back in the day. Keeping up with that whole theme of difficult confessions, the students suddenly stumble across a love letter stuffed into a shoe locker. Turns out it's actually from Hamano to an upperclassman girl. A massive wave of shock rips through the hallway, but then it's followed by something just absolutely heartbreaking. We find Hamano crying softly, hiding her face by the lockers after getting rejected. It's such a raw, brutal reminder of the real stakes when you put your heart on the line. Meanwhile, over in the guys' locker room, Tara is having an absolute meltdown. He is fiercely jealous of Jirou's living situation, literally screaming in frustration. He's yelling about how he wants to eat Watanabe's, meaning Akari's, home cooking every single day, and that he wants to be her husband. And right next to him, Minami is just calmly changing his clothes, completely unbothered by the entire freakout. Tara's jealousy completely spirals into this wild, hyper-vivid imagination. He's picturing Akari fresh out of the bath, rocking these fluffy animal pajamas with little ears and a tail, smelling like sweet shampoo. He gets so insanely worked up detailing this fantasy that Minami is just grossed out. Minami literally clocks out mentally, grabs his bag, and straight up escapes the locker room to dodge Tara's crazy rambling. Stepping outside into that lukewarm September wind, everything just kind of slows down for a second. Minami is standing out there all alone, looking up at the sky. And in that quiet moment, his mind drifts back to a very specific memory. He recalls Akari's tearful, determined declaration from before, where she looked him in the eye and swore she was going to try crazy hard with Jirou so she wouldn't have any regrets. Okay, cut back to the apartment, and man, the energy does a complete 180. Akari suddenly pops up right in front of Jirou out of nowhere, bringing this massive wave of liveliness into the room. She is super enthusiastically showing off her brand new, crazy fluffy pig pajamas. She's practically beaming over this limited edition online purchase, striking a cute pose and straight up asking Jirou if she looks adorable. But, this is Jirou and Akari we're talking about, so naturally, this leads to a highly tense, incredibly embarrassing moment. Jirou reaches out and accidentally gives the curly little pigtail attached to the back of her shorts a squeeze. The shock is instant. Akari's face goes absolutely atomic red, blushing furiously, and she completely panics, yelling out, "Forgive me," because she has no idea how else to handle it. Once all that absolute chaos finally settles down, the mood softens in such a beautiful way. Akari glances back at a still totally flustered Jirou and just gives him this incredibly gentle, genuine smile. Her voice drops completely as she tells him that she can actually really relax during times like this with him. It's just a perfectly quiet, domestic moment that really proves how unbelievably comfortable they've gotten around each other. So, as they're just sitting there chillin', Jirou glances over at the digital clock and gets hit with a massive internal realization. It dawns on him that, hey, Akari hasn't even mentioned her crush on Tenjin in a really long time. And what's even wilder, he realizes that he's completely stopped bringing up Shiori in front of her too, like totally stopped. Now they're just sitting side by side on the couch, sitting super close in the dim lighting of the apartment. They're staring super intently at the glowing screen of their phone, checking out the current practical ranks. And guess what? They are sitting pretty comfortably at 6th place in the A-rank standings. That puts them literally just one spot behind Minami and Shiori, who are hanging on to 5th. Speaking of those two, we jump over to Minami arriving home, where he's warmly welcomed by Shiori waiting by the door. It has this really domestic feel to it, but it's also kind of just routine for them now. Minami casually brings up those exact same practical scores, noting that the A rankers are pretty much looking the same as always. He casually suggests they should just go ahead and file their end-of-month continuation paperwork to keep their pairing exactly as it is. But right here is where the emotional tension just skyrockets. While Minami is chatting about knocking out the continuation paperwork, Shiori looks down, looking incredibly nervous. She's clenching her hands, and you can tell she is wrestling with something massive. Then, taking a huge breath, she bravely interrupts him. With her voice literally trembling, she tells Minami that she actually needs to talk about that. She tells him she wants to change pairs. Shiori firmly puts it all out there, declaring out loud that she wants to be paired with the person she's always liked. The absolute shock on the faces of all 4 characters, Minami, Shiori, Jirou, and Akari, is just palpable. The entire game board is about to be flipped upside down. So it leaves us with the ultimate question. Are they actually going to swap? And what in the world does this mean for Jirou and Akari's bond moving forward?